boys and girls, our friends around the world. Welcome back to the second episode today of Touchline Banter. We're doing a double upload. If you missed the last one, definitely go and watch it. We did basically like a Premier League recap, going over like where the state of the table is and how all the teams are, what everybody's doing. And this one, we're going to focus a little more at home. We're going to talk about Real Madrid. We're going to touch on the Champions League a little bit. But yeah, if you're not a Real Madrid fan, maybe you want to click away, but stick around, just to listen to what we have to say.
We'll do some Champions League stuff in general too. And listen to it's good to know the teams you don't like.
Yeah, of course. If you like to hear us talk bad about City, definitely stay.
Yeah, there's something for the whole family.
But yeah, at the time of recording, it is Wednesday, February 12th. Real Madrid won 3-2 yesterday. Ruben, we're 2 days away from Valentine's Day. Are you excited for Valentine's? Are you big on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I think it's nice. I think people sometimes get like the criticisms of Valentine's Day are valid, that it's a very commercial holiday and like Hallmark just kind of created it to sell greeting cards and whatever. And like it's not an unfair position to take, but like you could say that about literally most things that exist in the planet. It's a fun day, man. Who doesn't love and doing stuff for their partners or even like loved ones in general? Like I think honestly, I do think more places should be like when we were kids in elementary school, and you had to give everyone like a Valentine's. That was fun. Yeah. It was fun to just get like a little card and someone saying something nice about you, and maybe a little chocolate. Like it's just like the world can be a shitty place sometimes, and to give people an excuse to be nice and make it kind of like I guess like socially okay to do something like that. And I'm not saying that you should need that or that it's only okay to do nice things on the days where we've decided to be nice. But some people genuinely just need the excuse, or maybe some people genuinely just don't have that front of mind. So then this provides you a day where you can be like, hey, the people in my life that I care about, I'm going to take care of them and do something great. And I mean, Valentine's Day weekend is always also the NBA All-Star game. So good times all around.
Exactly. Although the state of the All-Star affairs in the NBA is kind of
not great. I'm so not like I'm not excited about that game. Like I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna try to watch it because I'm a masochist, I guess. But I just don't think it'll be that. They keep trying to make it competitive, and it's like I don't know. Unless you threaten like these NBA players with like losing their shoe contracts or something, I just don't see how you're gonna get the most. Like that should be it. They should call Nike and Adidas, be like, look, we need your help to make this competitive. Whichever team loses, all those players lose a year off of their contract. We're like, they're just not getting paid.
Yeah.
I bet you people would D up then. I bet you'd see some fucking defense then.
You're not seeing Steph Curry like lay down on the ground like so got dunk over him. But yeah, like I definitely think like the NBA All-Star festivities is like better still than most sports. Like NFL is.
I haven't watched a Pro Bowl in like 20 years.
If you watch a Pro Bowl, I don't want to be friends with you. Like, don't talk to me. If you're a person who watches the Pro Bowl, what the hell?
It's funny because even my dad was like, "Oh, like the Pro Bowl, like when's that?" I was like, "Well, it happens before the Super Bowl now, which is a change because it used to be after." Yeah. And I was like, "They don't even really play a game." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "They play flag football now, and it's just like a bunch of like mini games, basically of like throwing competition and stuff." And like the thing is, I'm sure if you're a kid, that's cool, and like I know that the NFL is trying to push flag in general for kids because they don't want the kids to have built-in CT before they get into the league. They want that to be an NFL exclusive. But in all seriousness, I know flag football is kind of getting a rise because of that, and because it's like a co-ed thing. Like girls can play it and play it at a high level, and it's going to be in the Olympics in LA in a few years. So like flag football is having a moment, if you want to call it that. So I understand the reason to put that in, and obviously players then don't have to like sacrifice their bodies or get hurt. And the throwing competitions are fun. They've always been fun. They used to do throwing competitions and stuff like that for the Pro Bowl as well. But like those are fun in the sense of like, oh, I'll see the clip and it'll be fun to see like, look at this throw Joe Burrow made. But like, I think the fact that most of the best quarterbacks and players don't always go because either they're in the Super Bowl or they're just like, nah, like I'm good. Like Josh
Yeah.
Allen was like, I don't think I need to go to this Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Like I think I didn't really spend time with my fiance actually. Like, I want to be there.
Yeah.
And
Well,
yeah, so I don't know. It's I think the NFL might be the worst one. I don't
I think it is.
watch hockey that much, but I feel like the hockey one at least has a bit more juice with the skills and the
Yeah.
3-on-3 and stuff. But
Yeah. I think if I had to rank it, it's probably like NFL and then maybe baseball, because aside from the home run derby, like the All-Star game is like kind of like pretty bad as
yeah,
well.
but like even at least in baseball, it's like that All-Star game is bad in the sense that like it's clear that people aren't really trying, but like
Yeah.
home runs are fun and you'll see like a fun little play
it's fun.
and
Yeah,
people will
it's
be
fun.
like, because it's like it's easier to make casual baseball look still like a game than it is
Yeah.
like, because there's so much less running, right? Like you can
Yeah.
tell, like you cannot sell me a 25% effort as 100% effort when I've seen an entire year of this player going full steam, giving it their all. Like, you know what I mean? Like I see the difference. Like I visually see it. Like I don't need, yeah. So
Yeah. We'll
I
see.
think and NFL and basketball are probably the two bottom. And
Yeah. And like, man, like the dunk contest, like, bro, what the hell? Like, when you look at the lineup of these people, it's like Matas Buzelis. I think he's a rookie out of Chicago.
yeah,
Andre Jackson Jr. Never heard of him. Like Mac McClung's back and he's a G League guy, obviously because he's the defending champ. And
Lakers goat.
yeah, and Stephon Castle, who's the only like relevant player I know out of this.
Stephon Castle's like the big name that they got for
Yeah,
sure because
what?
he looks like a superstar in waiting almost.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Which is
pretty big on Castle.
That's why people were surprised that they didn't have to give anything up to trade for what's his face, De'Aaron Fox. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But you know, All-Star games, they're fun, but you know, I think the NBA's definitely got to work on it. But focusing back on the topic,
it's more for kids, and at least like you said, the NBA will always have the 3-point contest. The 3-point contest is fun, but
yeah, that's what we're going to tune into. But focusing back on the topic, so we recorded 2 episodes before. If you missed in the last one, those ones didn't upload properly and record. Shout out technology. I think last time we were talking about Real Madrid, it was like we talked about the Spanish Super Cup. If I'm wrong,
we talked about the Super Cup loss, and we were looking ahead to the Madrid derby.
So I guess we can start with the Madrid derby if you like. Or
because I don't think we need to like rehash the Super Cup loss. Like to give people the cliff notes. Like I think I'll give my cliff notes. You give your cliff notes, but we don't have to like discuss it because it's already been discussed.
Yeah.
I was pretty upset. I didn't think the scoreline was necessarily reflective of the two teams. Madrid looked tired. They didn't take the opportunities that they had. I thought that the lineup could have been picked better, and we'll see some of those criticisms in the Madrid derby, and we'll see, and like it'll all kind of filter through the rest of this conversation. We talked about Ancelotti and tactics and rotations, concepts that I'm sure will come up in this episode. So my very calm down analysis of the Super Cup now is it was a horrible day. I was very upset. I don't think that was the best version of Madrid. And it made me mad because this version of Barcelona is also not very good. And I'm tired of people telling me that it's good because it's not that good. And I think that the way that Madrid approached the game with City yesterday is how they should approach the game against Barcelona, because I don't think that those teams are that different in terms of quality or level right now. I really
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, I really absolutely. Don't. That being said, let's talk about the Madrid derby. It ended up in a draw, which like a win would have been nice. A win would have been nice.
Yeah.
Because vibes were kind of bad. We haven't really beaten Atletico in a bit. Whatever. The penalty, Chouameni is a it's hard because like so much has happened since that game that
Yeah,
even my
yeah,
opinion of Chouameni has changed
yeah,
in some respect, and I do tend to be someone that gives him a bit more leeway than most. I think I see the good in him in ways that some people don't, and it seems like the fan base in general is a little bit tired of him. But the penalty was bad. He didn't need to do it. I think that Raul Asensio is again, even in my wildest dreams, I don't think I could have seen a player play as good as he did with this shirt. I know people are trying to make him the new Sergio Ramos, and God, knock on wood, God willing, he will be because he
yeah.
definitely has the attitude, and it seems like he has the talent. Even some of his tackles against City and Atletico, like the last ditch tackles, like the gambles that he took, he seemed to hit more than he didn't. He's not someone that gets pushed around or bullied. Even when um, Rudiger gets healthy, and if Alaba is able to get healthy and contribute this season, and next season if Militao is healthy, I still think you probably need to invest in a center back because of Rudiger's age, of Alaba's age, and of Militao's basically back to back years with Achilles ACL injuries. I would love to have another break glass in case of emergency. Whether if they believe in someone from La Fabrica, they put on Jacobo in one of the
Mm.
games after this. I think it was the Espanyol game that they ended up losing. Um, whether you believe in him or if it's the other person from La Fabrica whose name escapes me, who people were really high on, but he hurt his ACL. Maybe look into
Mm.
why everyone's ACLs are getting hurt. That might be a good place to start. But or if you go out and buy a young player, like honestly, I know that Euro ended up um, going to United. I wonder if he regrets that decision a little bit because truly, this would have been a good environment for him to learn because there wouldn't be. I mean, Ancelotti probably wouldn't have played him that consistently until he had to, and
Yeah.
then he would have gotten a slow run in to come back from injury or whatever. It could have been different. All that to say, if they target someone like that, or even someone like a Delict who needs kind of like a career rejuvenation. I know I'm picking United players, and like that seems a bit grim, but like you've seen how good players can be outside of United, so I don't think that by any means these players don't have football in their legs. But for me, the reason that they lost this game is because Lucas Vasquez is still playing right back, and that's a horrible thing to do. It's just bad. It looks bad. It's not great. Can he do a job? Yes, and we say this every week. Like every time we talk about it, can Lucas Vasquez do a job? Yes. Fundamentally, he is a person with a pulse that can play right back. Like, and he's done it at a decent
The
level.
pulse.
Well,
Holy.
like because and I say that like I love Vasquez, man. I love him for the
I do
penalty
too,
shootout,
but
spinning
I
the
hate
ball in
him
his
at
hand.
right back. I hate
I
him at right back.
but but the thing is, I wouldn't even hate him if we weren't having to put him into these games. Like
Yeah.
in a normal season, like if Carvajal was healthy, there's no way Vasquez even comes close to the pitch as a right back in this game. It's Carvajal for 90 minutes. Now, the thing is, Carvajal can no longer do that every week because he's getting old. We were lucky last year that he resisted injury. The vegan diet saved his life. But realistically, talk about investment. We need a right back. And it seems like it'll be Trent Alexander. And that brings
Yeah.
itself a whole host of other issues. But like it does seem like it will be Trent Alexander Arnold. And I have no problems with that. I really don't. Um, I just think that Vasquez as a right back, that ship has to have sailed. Like I hope that because like I'm sure Carlos sees it on some level, and I understand why people are so hesitant, are so ready to bash him over the head because he's so hesitant to put in the youth product. And if I know we're going to touch on the City game more, but if we talk about the game in between, maybe I'll get into some of my things with that. But like Vasquez for me was one of the worst parts of this. I know people were blaming Chouameni, but like I think his performance in the City game shows that like when he has people around him who are competent and a little bit more helpful defensively, he looks better. So Valverde, as much as like I'm kind of switching my position from what we were talking about the last time we recorded this. I do think Valverde is better in the middle. I would love to have a team where Valverde does not have to be the right back. I think you have to put him at right back because he at least offers a bit more cover. He's not perfect. He makes his mistakes as well, but he at least cares and he's a bit more physical, like in defense. Vasquez just gets lost and he's short, and then it's like we're cooked. Like it's just doesn't look good. So in that respect, I think Tchouaméni just needs someone on the right that can really help him out in a way that it doesn't seem like Vasquez is able to do. I didn't like Ceballos in that game either. I know people are, and this is the worst time to be a Ceballos hater because he had a really great performance against City, and by really great, I mean that assist was good. I don't think the rest of the match he was like covering himself in glory.
I agree.
And he
gave away the pen,
yeah. We'll get more into it then, but this game in particular, I kept hearing that Ceballos was important for his line breaking passes, ability to carry the ball, blah blah blah. In this game, not ability to carry the ball, but like people say that he can pass in between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was doing that at all against Atletico. Vinicius got mad at him because he kept asking for the ball, and Ceballos kept just recycling possession. And I'm like, why aren't you making that pass? Like, if you're not going to make that pass, then why the hell are you there? You're offering nothing. Like, I don't care. Like, because if what we're saying is Ceballos' best attributes are defensively and winning the ball back, I think Camavinga is better at that. Like I do. So then, and I know Camavinga was still coming back from an injury in this game, but like I would never play Ceballos over Camavinga, like ever. So if people want to hate Ancelotti for that, you can hate me too. I don't think Ceballos is a better player than Camavinga. Full stop. Like I don't think any version of Ceballos is a better version of a player than Camavinga. So that's where I stand on that. People were upset with the forward line. I don't know. I remember us having chances in this game and not taking them. It's also very difficult. Atletico were defending with like 10 men. Like the box was so packed, and Vinny tried. And again, I think Vinny gets so much criticism for oh, he loses his head. He gets I don't think he was like head loss in this one. I just think he was the only person trying to take someone on and do something fucking positive, and then he's not getting the ball from fucking Dani Ceballos of all people, and I would be frustrated too. Like at least if Jude Bellingham's not passing you the ball, if Valverde is not passing you the ball, if Mbappe or Rodrigo, like those are people you should respect that are on your level. Dani Ceballos, my brother in Christ, you would not be playing if there were not injuries. You would be on the fucking bench next to Vallejo. Like if Tchouaméni wasn't in defense, if Camavinga didn't have a knee injury, and honestly, if Modric was like even 2 years younger, you would not see the fucking field. So pass the damn ball. Like, what are we doing, man? Honestly, like it's crazy to me that again, it's like I love Real Madrid, and I love when there's a player that comes to the academy and like Spanish players, whatever. And I don't think Ceballos is technically an academy player, but like I know that Madrid fans from Spain love it when a Spanish player is doing well for Real Madrid. Power to you. I also think that's a good thing. It's nice to have someone from where you are. It's why Sergio Ramos was so important. It's why Raul is so important. Guti is looked upon favorably, even though he was playing with the likes of Beckham and Ronaldo, because he was from there, and and that's why we love Carvajal. 100% go to bat for those players. Let's not start making superheroes out of bench players. Like I'm just sorry. Because then you do you know who we become? We become fucking Arsenal, and then I have to sit here. When people try to say that Odegaard is like miles ahead of any midfielder that Real Madrid have, I'm like, you just don't watch shit. Like I'm like,
who is saying that?
I've had people say that, man. I've read it. Like people think that if Odegaard was still on Madrid, he would be their best midfielder, and I'm just like, he would not be. He would not be. Like I just don't understand how people can have blindness. But anyways, all this to say, I'll stop my little rant on the derby. I think it was harsh for us not to win. We shot ourselves in the foot a bit. And Mbappe's looking better consistently, which is good. Thought his goal was really nice. Simeone's an asshole, just the way that he sets his team up to defend. Like, I'm not going to do the pep. Like, they had a plan, they executed it well, and
Yeah,
honestly, like, they had a chance to win at the end of the game. Like,
yeah.
and if people think it's funny because if the Super Cup episode would have aired, it's gonna sound like I'm giving Atletico more credit than uh, Barcelona, and people would say that I should be flipped. No, I'm giving Atletico more credit than Barcelona because Atletico played this way and it worked, and they stymied Real Madrid. Barcelona got lucky that Kylian Mbappe couldn't time his runs, and more he's starting to learn how to time his runs. If we have the Mbappe that we've gotten recently against the high line that the Barca plays, but we're not playing fucking Vasquez and defense and shit. Like, we score 10 goals on Barcelona, but we cannot break down an Atletico that is literally defending with every inch of their body. It's too difficult because Dani Ceballos is recycling possession still as we currently speak. But yeah, you go.
Dude, I did not expect that. That was a heated. Ruben went from like calm and collected to like, yo, fuck that Ceballos.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, listen. In all honesty, like I am so with you there on Danny Ceballos. I will quickly go over couple of the points that you made because you echoed a lot of points that I made in the episode that didn't get uploaded. Yeah, I'm done with Vasquez. I love Vasquez. Thank you so much for your time and your service. I will never forget the penalty in the shootout against Atletico, stepping up and hitting it like that. He has absolutely great performances. But to quote someone who doesn't really know a lot about ball, in my opinion, Jamie Carragher, a right back is either a failed winger or a failed center back. Wow, does Lucas Vasquez right now epitomize that?
That's
Like,
kind of
holy
like, yeah, that's
shit.
kind of his whole
Like,
bag.
like he cannot defend. We know that. And like, I remember there was one of those all or nothing documentaries on Prime. I was watching the City one, and Pep had one of his like transfer or technical directors, Chigi Baretzian, I forgot how to pronounce his last name, but he was like, if you are gonna be a fullback and you are short, which Vasquez is, you have to be very technically skilled, and Vasquez isn't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
No,
Vasquez in his prime was like a decent rotation winger who was never really quick. Listen, when he makes those overlaps and he comes in and he plays the crosses in, he's great, amazing. Aside from that, I'm done. Like, I'm so done.
this is gonna sound crazy, but Vasquez is basically like we have Trent Alexander who passes worse at that
Yeah,
position right now.
exactly.
Like, it's the same thing.
And if you wonder why we're worried about Trent, it's
It's that.
because
It's literally
it's
that.
that.
It's literally
It's
that.
that. And I already said, like, don't understand how a right back could be so highly touted when he can't defend for his life. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. As far as Ceballos, like, there are times when a certain player does like well, and he has purple patches, just like you mentioned, and he starts finding his form, and then people start, lauding him like he's like some next coming, and especially because he's Spanish and blah blah blah, and he was from Real Betis, and they're known for like getting good players and grooming them and growing them. I am so done with. I have been done with Ceballos for so long. Like, this guy went to Arsenal and couldn't get in the team and do well. And that was before Arsenal really had Declan Rice, and it was mostly just Thomas Partey, and Granit Xhaka was older. And this guy couldn't do anything. And even in like the Champions League final against Liverpool when Vinny Jr. scored, there was like a sequence of play where basically Ceballos gets the ball on like a straight through, and he could have just scored if he just gave a shit. But he just kind of just stops and just kind of tumbles over. And I remember watching a reaction from like a Premier League podcast, and they were like, "That was the most Arsenal thing ever." Like, I don't know if Arsenal made him worse, but genuinely, I've never been big on Ceballos. Every time he came in, I never saw the passing like through the lines and dictation of play. And
but like that. But that's what they say, and like I want to make this clear. Like, I'm not saying he's not a useful player, like as a squad piece and as a rotation piece in the midfield, and like we can get into that for Ancelotti just needing to rotate more. But like as a starter, like I think people are deluding themselves. I see people in like the chat that I'm in around Madrid. Even my dad, like when we talked in the other episode, I said my dad had him in the starting 11 and like seemingly would trust him over like Camavinga or something. I'm like, that's
No.
crazy to me. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like why would you have a worse athlete who is not even that much better a passer? Like again, like that makes us, who that makes us like Barcelona. Like if I have to hear about how Pedri and Gavi, oh, they're metronomes, they feel the pulse of the game. I don't want metronomes. I don't want dictation. I want motherfuckers that win. Like Jude Bellingham and Valverde. That's what I want. I want those motherfuckers.
Listen, Modric and Kroos were metronomes who dictated the pace of the game, but Modric and Kroos also played like nasty through balls and found like plays, found Benzema, found Bale.
Kroos was out there pointing the holes to, hey, Vinny, run there, fucking
go. Just go there, dude. I'm gonna find you. Just go. Use your blistering pace already. Anyway, but yeah, like Ceballos, like squad player. Honestly, dude, like maybe in my opinion, I'm kind of out on him as a squad player. I just don't think he's Madrid level. I think he's kind of like Betis, Sociedad level. No disrespect to those teams, but we know what the level is.
That's gonna age poorly if Madrid lose to Real Sociedad in the Copa right next week.
Yeah, people are we're gonna play this again. But just focusing on the game, it kind of went the way I thought it was gonna go. It would have been nice to get a win, especially since recently, like the results under Ancelotti's recent run against Atletico haven't been the best. It was typical Atletico, it was typical Simeone, 10 people defending. When you look at the statistics of the game, Madrid has 60% possession. We don't really care about that, but it was 9 shots on goal, 23 attempts. The one shot attempt that Atletico had, which is basically the penalty they scored. I saw like Gabriel Moreno from ESPN FC coming out and saying like, what was like the title of the video? Atletico missed their opportunity to expose Real Madrid. Expose what? How it's like incredibly difficult to break down a Simeone and Atletico defense who defends with 10 people. Like,
well, it's also just like, and again, we're about to come. I keep interrupting you, and we're about to come to the game where this will be more relevant. But like, the amount of injuries that Real Madrid have, and we haven't been out here making excuses where like a certain someone has some injuries or other teams have injuries and make it the whole point of the season. Like expose what? The fact that we're starting Vasquez or right back? Like, yeah, you wouldn't be the first. Like,
exactly. So like we've been decimated with injuries. We haven't cried injury at all. It is what it is. You deal with it. Like the front line, it wasn't their greatest game. It is what it is. We've spoke about the front line not having great games, but they're definitely coming into their own. I'll just speak on the penalty quickly. Okay, to me, given all the angles and the stuff that have been said about it and all the people coming out after, I agree based off of contact and how exactly Tchouaméni, I don't remember the Atletico player who he tackled, who it was, but how he kind of like put his foot on that player or kind of like grazed it or whatever. To me, the contact isn't necessarily a penalty. Or is it? No, honestly, is it? I'm not gonna stay on the fence. I don't think the contact wise it's a penalty. But again, people are like, "Oh, you're Real Madrid fans, you're biased, you get all the ref calls." No. Listen, you put yourself in compromising positions. You get sometimes calls that go against you. Tchouaméni has that about him sometimes. Unfortunately, he makes mistakes, and that's the only thing that kind of holds me back a little bit from really pushing him like really, really high up there. I'm with you, Ruben. I'm more in on him than more Real Madrid fans are. I definitely don't think we should sell him, but it's kind of these lapses in judgment and these mistakes that he makes that kind of frustrates me at times. Do I believe in contact wise was it a penalty? Absolutely not. Like he basically just grazes his foot. But that was it.
At worst, he grazes his foot, but there are plenty of angles that make it seem like he didn't even stamp him, like that his foot was still up the whole time, and the ball was behind and past him. Like the penalty was nonsense, in my opinion. But like, to your point, I felt the same way. Like you can't put yourself in that position. Don't let them make that call. Basically, like.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. At this point, the table, it's closer than last time we spoke. I still think Atletico is the biggest threat. I don't. Barcelona is doing great. For all you mentioned it earlier, just to touch on this quickly, for all the people going like, oh, this is the next coming of Barcelona. And my friend at work's like, he's like, oh, Rafinha is having a Ballon d'Or season. Rafinha's great season is 9 goals. Like I remember we were talking about it at the last episode. Is 9 goals. Mbappe had a bad season is at 11. So what's this Ballon d'Or talking? Let's chill. Like let's calm down. But At this point, Madrid are still ahead. The title's going to be close. I still think we finish strong and we carry it in, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
Um,
I kind of
but
agree
that's
with all
basically
that.
it. Yeah, that's all I
Yeah,
have to say on that. Should we move over to Champions League
yeah, let's
and
do that.
let's do it. Let's talk about more happier things. For those who missed it, in the new kind of knockout form, like to qualify for the round of 16 now, Real Madrid we're drawing against Manchester City. Um, I'm not sure how you felt, Ruben. I was kind of like, okay, cool.
Oh, like
Uh,
so. First of all, when the options were like City or Celtic, I think for us, I was
mhm.
like, we're getting City. Like I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
there's no way we're getting play Celtic. I
yeah.
was looking forward to it. Like you can ask anybody that talks to me. I was like, we could put 10 past them, and my opinion hasn't changed based on the game. But I was very comfortable. Like this Manchester City again. Like it's not the Manchester City of old, and we could talk about it. But that's how I felt. How did you feel?
Yeah, I was like, okay. I'm like, even a full strength City, given our quote unquote like rivalry, which like what rivalry? Like we've won most of them. They won 1 year and against us, and like that was it. Don't forget the remontada. Like don't ever forget that. Uh, that will live in City fans
Oh
like
my god,
minds and hearts
I
till
love it. I love it.
forever. But yeah, like I was like, okay, and let's both teams are dealing with injuries. Real Madrid are coming into better form, especially Mbappe in the front line. They seem to be more cohesive. But at the same time, City is kind of finding their form, quote unquote. So it should be interesting. And then going into this game, Man City fans they put up a big banner and tifo with Rodri kissing the Ballon d'Or trophy, which according to them he was deserving to win. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. We already spoke about that. You can click at that video if you want to hear what we have to say. And it said, "Stop crying your heart out." And Real Madrid went and scored a 90th minute winner in the end, and Vinny Jr. was awarded the man of the match. So
Yeah,
I'll let you take the floor on this one. I
things
want to hear your thoughts.
things that aged poorly. Yeah, so Madrid ended up winning 3-2. I don't know if you saw, but post the game, the official statement from City or like I guess some of the fans that's come out, or at least what I've been seeing on Twitter, is like, oh, like the tifo wasn't directed at Vinicius; it was directed at Florentino Perez, and I'm like, convenient that now it's not directed to Vinicius. If they had won and Vinicius had had a poor game, or even if they had won and Vinicius had the game that he had, but they had won or held up for a draw, I bet it still would have been directed at Vinicius, and they would have said, oh, like we rattled them. We couldn't. Instead, Vinicius dropped a man of the match performance. And again, here's where I get upset. And I sometimes I talk about the chat and the Toronto opinion that I'm in because I think it's reflective of there's a lot of different fans there that approach it in a different way. But sometimes they can't, like everyone's so quick to be like, oh, like Vinicius needs to like have his head on straight. Like, well, I'm like, no, Vinicius gets frustrated in La Liga because like the crowds are racist to him. He never gets a call. And generally, like those atmospheres are hostile to the form of toxic, like not good hostile, not like, oh, this is a competitive match hostile. No, like this is an unsafe environment and it's kind of disgusting what's happening. You don't have to talk too much about the stuff like the effigies in Atletico Madrid games, what's happened in Sevilla and stuff, whatever. But when he plays in the Champions League, the crowds try to do the same thing without the racism. Really, like they do the tifos. They boot him. The City fans were booing him every time he touched the ball. The players play him tough, but you know what the difference is? The players that foul him can kind of recognize it. Like, yeah, they complain about the call sometimes, but they're not looking at him like, "Oh, why you blah, blah. Like you gotta stop dancing? Oh, you fucking get up." They play football with like some semblance of intelligence. So then Vinny just doesn't get wound up at like normal stuff. He gets wound up when people literally try to assassinate his character, which I think is a normal human thing that most people would feel and go through. He had a great performance. So whenever people say stuff like that, I'm like, you just don't understand this player. Because like the second that I saw that tifo, I'm like, oh, my boy's gonna cook, and he did. He had the most completed dribbles. He created the most goal chances. He was on fire from the beginning. And honestly, on a different day where Mbappe has his scoring boots on because he fluffed a couple chances early, where even Rodrigo has a bit more scoring touch, or even Jude got a couple of crosses into the middle that he couldn't handle from Vinicius. We win that game like 6-3. Like he set up some real good chances. Or if Mendy, I mean, God, talk about a place where you'd rather have Fran Garcia or like a Carvajal type, like someone that was just going to hit it on the first touch, because Mendy took that touch because he was scared. He wanted to pass it off. He's like, sorry, I don't do this. I don't do one-on-ones with the goalkeeper. But in a different world, that's also a goal, right? So yeah, Vinny was beautiful. The whole team, like, even the parts of the match that were, I guess, the bad parts, like, because I think Madrid came out on the front foot. They were putting pressure. They were pressing really well. And then, like, because those chances were missed, it felt like they kind of let off the gas a bit. And then they started to hang back, which I get. You can't press for 90 minutes. The problem is City are still good enough at passing and doing some of those things that they created a chance. And like the chance was really close. The offside I thought was ruled correctly. It was close. Like I know people are saying his knee, whatever. I don't really care. Like I think he was in good enough spot. Like I wouldn't want that to be called back on my team, so I wouldn't want it called back on them. Like it was a good pass, it was a good run, good job. The defense could have been better, yeah, but it wasn't awful. But I thought everybody had a great game. Like even Rodrigo got himself into some chances. And Mbappe scored the most fluky goal you'll ever see. Hit him in the shin. Like that had no business going in, but it's Real Madrid at the Etihad, so it was going in. Jude, like, oh my God, Jude, like I hope he gets a Ballon d'Or one day, because, like, my God, seeing him in the middle of the pitch, like, everybody who compares Gavi or Pedri or, like, quite literally any other midfielder on the planet to this person,
Odegaard,
like, you do not deserve to watch football. Like, you shouldn't be able to watch Jude Bellingham if you're comparing him to those bums. Instead of Jude Bellingham on your screen, there should be like a black box, and you just don't get to see what he does. You just see where the ball ends up, because you don't deserve to see what this man does. You do not deserve it. He is phenomenal. He's like there's not a single thing he does wrong in the midfield. Like so often I'm watching the game, I'm like, he's giving effort in defense. He's going up. He plays the right passes. His touch is amazing. Oh my God. Like I could just gush. Like I like it's again, there's a meme I really like. A Chrysler 300 looks like a Phantom until a Phantom pulls up. And like every other midfielder is a Chrysler 300. Jude Bellingham's the Phantom. Like he is a Rolls Royce of a footballer. He is otherworldly. And of course he got the game winner. Why wouldn't he? Like he's like a match winner. Fuck a metronome. He can do that. Fuck the passing and dictation. He can do that. But he is a match winner. When it's the biggest moments and when you need someone to do something, he is doing it. And people can say, well, it was a tap in on like a Vinicius maybe shot, maybe pass. I personally think he was trying to just get it towards the net and hoping someone would be there because he knew he didn't have a good angle on it. But you know why Jude Bellingham's always in those positions? Because he's fucking smart. Because he knows the game. Because he knows that he can make it there and where he should be for the ball. That's why he scores those. It is a testament to his IQ and his feel for the game. Beautiful footballer. Beautiful footballer. I thought Camavinga was good. For this to be his first real game coming back from the injury where he started, he won the ball back well. Were there a couple passes he misplayed and he gave away possession a bit cheap? Yeah, absolutely. But I thought he did fine. Ceballos was anonymous for a good long while. The pass and the free kick was really nice. But it was funny because before he gave the penalty, me and my dad were kind of being like, I would love a change here. And I was like, I would change Ceballos for Modric, like right away, just to put a little bit more like halt into the game. Because like Ceballos gets tired because he's not not physically a great player. And then he gives away the penalty, which again, I know some people are trying to say he was out of the box. His foot looked on the line. And again, I want that called the way it says in the rule book. If the foul like continues into the box, they called it perfectly. They called it perfectly. Yeah. If that was on Madrid, and I mean, to be fair, they didn't call a foul on Jude Bellingham. That was quite clearly a foul and should have been a free kick.
Same thing.
Basically the same thing. Outside the box even, so it wouldn't have even been a penalty, but like whatever. Whatever. But I would want that called the other way, so whatever. But it's like we said, he had no business making that tackle. Mendy was there. Don't put yourself in those positions. And yet, Tchouaméni gets slated, and people want Ceballos to start every game. That I don't understand. Mendy, yeah, could have been better, but he did okay. Like the thing with Mendy is like offensively, he's giving you nothing. There was a good part of that game where it felt like Vinicius was like, "I will literally put the ball anywhere else, but to just drop it off to Mendy." Like he wasn't even
Yeah,
looking his way. Like
yeah,
you're not even on the pitch with me. Just like fucking leave.
yeah.
Which was great. But overall, even the changes like bringing on
Raheem.
Ibrahim Diaz was great. Instantly added some movement and some pace. I mean, like the goal that he scored. I love that he didn't celebrate that goal, but then celebrated the.
I was like, dude, why? Like, you're a lone player. Who gives a shit?
He played 5 games, but he
Yeah, I
was
was like,
like,
what?
I honestly like that's my one. Like, I love whenever someone's like makes fun of a player for not celebrating and using the Sean Dice,
Yeah,
the woke nonsense meme because that's how I felt.
yeah,
I was like, come on. Um, but he was good. I thought he should have celebrated both, but he only celebrated one. Oh well.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't have much criticism. Like I thought Mbappe played well. Again, if he had his shooting boots on, it would have been a bit different. Rodrigo also didn't catch some quite as well as he probably could have, but it feels like they're figuring it out more. Even the fact that Vinny is more, and he did this in the Madrid game against Atletico as well, and he did it in the Espanyol game. Like he's willing to pop up on the right, like he's willing to shift his position that far. He'll stay in the middle sometimes, and Mbappe will go out on left. It seems that they at least on some level understand they don't have to occupy that one position all the time, but also don't occupy the same positions all the time. The attack is more balanced down all three flanks. I remember in the first month, every time you saw those attack stats on La Liga, it'd be like 20 on the left, like
Yeah.
5 in the middle, and then like 1 on the right.
It was just like a
Yeah.
heat map was just to the left. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought they looked a lot better. Like tactics wise, like again, like I know people try to not give Ancelotti credit, but tactically it all worked. Like when Madrid were pressing, when Madrid were doing what I'm sure they were instructed to do, City were loose with the ball and Madrid took advantage of it. Like there's a different version of this game where we just beat them the entire way through. Like we didn't take our chances and that's why it was closer than what it seemed. But for anybody that thinks that this should have been a draw or that City like earned a win, like I don't know what game you were watching. Ederson, who's usually a bad shot stopper and great with his feet, was the reverse. He was a great
This is
shot
what I
stopper.
said. What I said, he's overrated, and what happened?
Yeah, but like I will give him credit. Like he stopped a couple really good ones.
Yeah.
But as a ball, like oh man, like he's got to go back to Brazil or he's got to get a move to Saudi
Mm,
because his passes were looking rough. And speaking of that, like I'll wrap up so you can have some time to cook. But
mm,
like this is why I'm not afraid of this City team. Even when they were ahead, they had no control over the game. It didn't feel like it was a foregone conclusion. There was no vice grip tightening slowly. Like I
mm.
remember even in the remontada one, like when we left the Etihad down a goal, it felt like a win because we're like, okay, like at home, obviously, like back our boys. But here, even when we were drawn, I was always like, yeah, we can push for one more. Like I thought we were more likely to score than they were. And to that point, Madrid got 20 shots, which is more than any other team has gotten at the Etihad against a Pep Guardiola team. Like there was only one team that was going to win that game, and it was Real Madrid. Like and if you believe differently than that, I don't have to tell you, even Pep himself said that again, and I think he probably said this through gritted teeth, but for once that Madrid were the better team. Because usually he always gets on those little
For what?
press conferences and he says they were the better team, but
Mm,
Madrid just kind of snatched it. This time he said Madrid were the better team, but we had an opportunity to do something and we let it go.
yeah.
That should tell you all that you need to know.
Listen, like we've spoken about this better team rhetoric, blah blah blah, especially last year with the penalty shootout and like Real Madrid defending, blah blah, and like literally Thierry Henry, a forward, comes out and says like defending is like a part of the game. It's like the better team is the team who wins. You don't take your chances. You don't deserve to
Yeah.
win. If you defend well and you take your chances, you do deserve to win. That's who the better team was. Don't give me no. Oh, they controlled the blah blah. No, like who cares? Don't even know possession for no. Shut up. Like just stop. Just stop with that. Um, yeah, like City Guardiola comes out and says that City are not stable. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You are not stable, and that is perfectly the way you put it. When throughout the entire game, I mostly watched the second half because I had a dentist appointment, and then I came in like kind of end of first half and thing, and like I just love going to the dentist, just complete tangent, and it's like they ask you the most random questions at the most random times. Like it's like they have that spit sucker thing in your mouth, and they're like, "Oh, so like tell me about yourself. Like, what do you study?" And you're I'm like, "Really? Like now you want me to like talk with all this like fucking like you got like needles and shit and whatever?" It's like dentists are weird people, man.
Yeah,
Like just do whatever you got to do and they'll send me home, man. Like
just clean,
I don't,
just
yeah,
clean
just
my
clean the
teeth,
teeth.
man. That's it.
Yeah, I just want to go home. I hate going to the dentist. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. Um, yeah, like even at 1-0, I never felt like City were in control, and just like you said, there was some like vice grip closing in, and the game was just getting like in their way. Madrid constantly had passages to play where I thought they should have scored or could have scored, and then yeah, Mbappe gets like a bit of a fluky goal, but that's what happens when you put yourself in positions that are threatening, and people do that. Mbappe is doing that a lot, and Madrid forwards do that a lot. Um, on Bellingham, I think he had an absolutely beautiful game. And again, for people who compare him to the likes of Odegaard, which I'm still like dumbfounded at, there was like multiple passages where Real Madrid has a shot on goal or something, it gets blocked, and you just see Bellingham running back, getting a tackle,
Yep,
getting a 50-50. I'm like, let's go. Like, give me that shirt. That is Jude. That is my midfielder. That is Real Madrid. That's the heart and soul right there.
yep,
Um,
100%.
but yeah, like again, we have never cried injury. We deal with it. It's a part of the game. But City have lost one player. And yes, he's very important. And for Pep Guardiola systems, he's arguably the most important player. But when you look at the lineup,
Crazy that
City
it's
went
like a
with
Jenga block. They took him
yeah,
out and it all
exactly. It's like
fucking fell.
exactly. It was Ederson, Gvardiol, Aki, Diaz, and Kanji. Backline, same as always. Stones was like quote unquote the defensive mid, which he'd done that before. And then he has Grealish, Silva, De Bruyne, Savinho, and Holland. So basically a full strength City side, aside from Rodri. And City is basically in shambles and can't win anything and bottles leads. And this was like what, like the let me pull it up. I was just reading it right now. It was they've conceded like a late goal, conceded 7 goals in the final 15 minutes of Champions League matches. Like this is crazy.
That's nuts.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
so, but then on Real Madrid side, it's like, oh, yes, absolutely, our forward line has been there, but we had Ceballos and Camavinga in midfield, which I already just spoke about Ceballos. He had a fine, okay game in my opinion. Gave away the penalty, it is what it is. I definitely think he should have came off. I would have preferred if Modric actually started and Ceballos came on as a sub, but I guess just health and age and all that. And yeah, like we don't have a center back, quote unquote, aside from Asensio, who's a youth player. Like we don't have a first team center back. We haven't had basically a first team center back like for a while now, ever since Rudiger's been out. Like we had Mendy, Asensio, Chouameni. We have two midfielders, a youth player, and one left back who's in and out, who's a very sporadic player.
Yeah,
And
you could
and
make the
people,
argument that Garcia should be
yeah,
starting over him. Yeah,
yeah, and people want to cry injury for City. No, don't give me any of that. I thought Valverde had a great game tracking back. I thought that right side was very fluid, just
really
between
good.
him and Jude and Rodrigo and Valverde. It was great to see. And yeah, it was just the constant passage of the play that they put themselves in to score. It was just beautiful to see. And I think that like we didn't speak about this actually in the Madrid derby one, but I think like you kind of saw a change of performance because apparently Ancelotti came out at halftime and kind of like reprimanded his players and was like, "You have to give more. This isn't acceptable." And I think you definitely saw it in this game. Um, yeah, honestly, like I really don't have much to say on there. Credit, like I think Brahim Diaz, he should have done like an Adebayor Arsenal type celebration if I was him. Like,
Just
bro,
knee slide in front of Pep
what
Guardiola. That would be
what do you
crazy.
owe City? You were alone. They shipped you out on loan because apparently you weren't good enough. You played 5 games, but he's been an absolute great signing and great player and sub and player who starts even occasionally for Real Madrid. And yeah, Jude is ice
Speaking,
cold.
making
So
making a quick reference to the other
yeah,
episode, he's doing what Asensio used to do, but more consistently.
yeah, exactly. Hold, that's so perfect way of putting it. What we wanted Asensio to be, just a more consistent like sub or occasional starter. But yeah, Jude was ice cold, and yeah, like when the game, I saw a clip after when the game basically starts, and I think Vinny sees the tifo, and you see him kind of looking at it, and he's giving like kind of like a what is that kind of thing. I just thought of the Jordan meme of like I took that
I took that
personally,
verse.
and it's like
Yeah,
you know,
man.
City fans cry your heart out. Things work out for a reason. Um, I honestly agree with a lot of the pundits, like on ESPN FC. A lot of them were like, "This is nothing new. City throwing another lead." Frank LeBluff is quoted as saying, "As he sees no way for City back against Real Madrid. Anything's possible in Champions League. Realistically,
Yeah.
I think it's over. I think it's done. I think we go to the next round. Thank you, City. Done and dusted. Great performance. Great game.
I think so too. We're already at 50 minutes because we yap a lot about this. Maybe me
Yeah,
more than you, but I'm not putting a time limit on this. I think we are allowed to stretch our legs
sure
on
thing.
this one because this is a bonus
Yeah,
episode more than anything.
yeah,
But I wanted to say, if people want to also say that Grealish went out injured, which adds to the injury troubles, they subbed on Phil Foden for Grealish. Some could argue Phil Foden's actually the starter, and it was kind of a surprise that Pep went with Grealish. Well, Foden's been that inconsistent out of form as well, so it's not like whatever. I have Guardiola's quotes that I mentioned earlier. I'll give them right now for context. Madrid played very well. They had chances and they linked up better than in other games. We didn't know how to handle it. We could have won, but we couldn't hold on to the result. I have been here for many years and we have been an extraordinary team, but right now I am not able to handle this situation that happens to us a lot. It is always misunderstood, but of all the games we have played, it has been their best against us. And then about his team not being able to keep the lead, he said, "It has happened many times because I can't find the solution. It has happened many times. It has been the year that Madrid has been better. We had a good result and we have let it go." So again, twice in the same press conference, basically, he has abandoned the usual party line of we were the better team and we got unlucky. And I think that tells you everything you need to know. And it's funny because I have a friend who's a City fan, and like on Monday or something, he sent me a message like, "Oh, it sucks that I'm working because I'm gonna miss I'm gonna miss I'm gonna miss them destroying Real Madrid." And I didn't say anything, and then I just hit him with the ice cold meme after they lost because but even after the game, because I said like you guys got lucky that Ederson kind of kept you in it to a certain degree because I think we could have won like 6-3. And he didn't expand too much, but he just said, if that's the game that you saw, then I think we were watching different games. I was like, apparently.
apparently, yeah. Because again, like over 8-11, I think Ederson is done. I think he needs to go.
Yeah, to be fair, you called it.
Yeah. Like this guy normally doesn't make any saves, and he's making saves out of his mind. And if Real Madrid like scores one or two, this is usually 4-2, 5-2, maybe even worse. But yeah, like for a player who's known for distribution, I'm sorry, what? Wow. Okay.
Not good.
Damn. Oh. But yeah, like the only thing, we like for the there was the foul that Ceballos gave away was basically the same type of foul that Bernardo Silva did on Jude Bellingham, and I'll put it up in editing. I texted Ruben and I was like, "How that isn't a foul, I'll never know." And literally right after Jude scores the winner, and I was like, you know what? Fortune favors the bold. And for all the people who say Real Madrid get all the calls, hey, Jude looked around and was like, what the hell? And he was like, you know what? Fuck it. Got up, gets himself in a great position, scores the winner.
And that is the one thing I will say. I love Vinicius a lot. I think sometimes he goes to ground a bit too easy. I wish he would keep his feet a bit more. And one thing that I respect about Jude is he tries to keep his feet a lot. And I also love it about Mbappe that I've noticed more and more is even when he gets fouled, even when it's difficult and they're really hacking at him, because earlier in the game, he probably should have gotten the call. Like two players were coming in on him. There was definitely contact, but he didn't get the call. But he kept his feet. Like he didn't fall. He didn't look for it. Like he fell when he actually fell, but he didn't go to ground. So the last thing I wanted to say about the game, I'm glad you highlighted Valverde because he was really good. And I was very happy for him because it was funny because me and my dad were talking. We're like, oh, like once Modric and Vasquez are gone, like who's the captain? Like who's been there longest? Like is it? And we had a couple players in our head, and I was like, I think it might be Valverde because like he was thinking it might have been like Alaba or depending on when he got signed or Rudiger or whatever. There's the Vinicius Rodrigo, all that stuff. And knowing now that whenever Modric and Vasquez are gone, it's Valverde, kind of makes me feel happy about that because I do think he has earned that. I think he is
Yeah,
definitely.
I don't see anyone like realistically who should be captain aside from him.
Yeah, but at Madrid, it goes by like service
Yeah,
time,
tenure,
basically, right?
tenure. Yeah,
And like,
but I'm pretty sure he is either him or Vinny.
no,
Like
no,
I'm pretty
yeah, that's
sure.
what like, and it's clear that by the way that they're measuring it, it's him, which is good.
Mm,
I like that because I think he,
yeah,
again, he kind of embodied that and earned that when he killed that to go play when Sergio Ramos told him to kill him. So that's someone who'll do anything for the win, which you have
yeah,
to you just have to respect.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm kind of with you. And anything can happen in the Champions League, but I would not bet for City to overturn this. We're going to be at home, and if their defense is going to be the way that it was today, and if they're going to play the way that it was today, it's going to be not too hard. So, globally, though, one thing I will say, and maybe we'll touch on it, like I think Ancelotti, I don't think he was in danger of losing his job. I don't think he had to save his job, but this definitely helps him a lot, right? And
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like there's some sort of like rhetoric a little bit going around and of like, oh, like is he in danger? Like we spoke about it, and I don't. He's never in danger because given like what he's done and like, given that he's likely leaving at the end of the season. So
well, I also think honestly, man, if he wins the league and he somehow manages to win the Champions League again or the Copa del
oh,
Rey,
like keep him.
yeah,
Like
like I don't see this necessity, and like maybe have a conversation with him about rotating because that's the one thing. I I was trying to look ahead at the game this weekend, and I forget who they play because I clicked off of it. But for whoever they play this weekend, I know the league is important, but like I would love to see some rotation. Like I would love to see
they play
anybody.
Osasuna.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah. A
would
little
love to see
rotation would
some
be nice.
rotation. Like, and like that's not to say that Vinny and Rodrigo or even Jude like can't play, but like let Jude start on the bench. Let this be like a Modric, Ceballos, Camavinga getting more into shape. And honestly, they talked about it going into this game about potentially putting Fran on the left and Mendy on the right. Think about doing that. I think they did it at the end of this game. Actually, they
Yeah,
flipped them
it did look like that.
and do it just to get like if there's two players I hope don't play against Osasuna, not because I don't want them to play, but just because they deserve rest. It's Jude Bellingham and Valverde. Just get them off their
Yeah,
feet. Let them sit up in the press, but like not the press box, but like let them sit up in the press this week. Get them a fucking massage. Like I just let them sit in ice for a whole day. Like just let them rest, and hopefully we see more of Arda. We let Endrick run out there, and obviously, like if you need to win the game or if stuff gets too sloppy, inject some adults in there. But I think if you realistically started Rodrigo, Endrick, Arda, Modric, Ceballos, Camavinga, and then the back four of Mendy, Asensio, Chouameni, and Fran, like I'd be happy with that. Just so people can rest, and so that we can see some people. I don't know what you think.
no, yeah, absolutely. I'm good with that. Like a guy, the league is very tight. It's very close. We're just 1 point ahead of Atletico and 2 points ahead of Barcelona. Osasuna is like I would say like mid-table, so they're a team to like be wary of. But I would say some rotation is absolutely necessary. And yeah, just like you said, if you need to inject like some a change of pace or something like that, just put some of the adults in, like you said.
Yeah. So I don't know if you have anything else that you wanted to talk about storyline wise with Real Madrid. I think you hit my feelings on the
Oh,
league. Like
yeah,
I think it's in our hands still. It's going to come down to the second El Clasico in my mind because I don't really trust. I don't trust Atletico Madrid to basically go undefeated and keep it that close. And I don't trust Barcelona to keep picking up points at will. And like, I do think it's going to come down to that game, and whoever wins that game will probably win the league. And I
yeah.
back Real Madrid because that's my team, and I do think we're a better team. And I think I've seen more out of the forward line, and like and we like Mbappe just looks more comfortable. I think that for me is the biggest thing. Mbappe just looks more comfortable. I texted you the meme of like a Ninja Turtle when they were playing Valladolid, and I was like Mbappe looking at the Valladolid back line because he just looks. That's the Mbappe we thought we ordered on Temu.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the Mbappe we thought we ordered, not the Temu Mbappe.
He's had his, like he said it himself, his bad patches, I think, is kind of past him now, and I think he's really coming into his own, and it's looking great.
Yeah.
And exciting things are to come.
Yeah.
And again, wrap up probably there, right?
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about anything else?
No, I mean, we can quick overview on the Champions League. I'll read off some results, I guess, because this is on its face also a Champions League episode as well as Real Madrid one. Club Bruges ended up beating Atalanta 2-1. Late winner.
Shout out Club Bruges.
90+4 on a penalty, so I can't wait to see if that was a controversial call.
Gotta check out the highlights of that.
And the other results yesterday were PSG beat Brest 3-0. They were away, which is a pretty good result. They're going to be back at the Parc des Princes. Dortmund also beat Sporting 3-0. They were also away, so they'll be heading back to Dortmund with quite the hefty lead. Juventus took care of business at home 2-1 against PSV Eindhoven, and we've already talked about Real Madrid, Man City. The other games today, Celtic Bayern, Monaco Benfica, and Feyenoord Milan. It'll be interesting to see kind of how all those shake out. And we're close to knowing who's going to match up, because the winners of these will be redrawn into who they're going to face in the next round of 16 or whatever, and then we're going to go from there, kind of how it used to be, just home and away, boom, boom, boom. So, but, I I think playing City this early is a good thing, because we beat them, obviously, and I think we're going to beat them. And then, I don't know, not that they were afraid of City, but then there's really no one to be afraid of. Our side of the draw is going to be, we'll either play Atletico or Leverkusen, which tough if it's Atletico, but
Atletico could be tough.
Not impossible, and not someone that I would be afraid of playing. And then Leverkusen, kind of the same. The funny thing is, either way, there's narrative. So I guess here's where we'll end. Who would you rather play? Knock on wood, if we do make it through, would you rather get drawn with Atletico or Leverkusen?
That's interesting. Honestly, just given how we've done against them in the Champions League, probably Atletico, because I feel like Leverkusen could be a bit of a wild card, even though they're not doing as well as last season. I just don't really trust Atletico ever in the Champions League. And even given the Madrid derby, it's if Madrid are able to take a couple of chances and are a little healthier, I definitely think we win that game. Yeah, it's a toss-up, kind of. Yeah. To me, honestly, it is.
I agree. It'll be interesting. It will be interesting. That's for sure.
Thank you for tuning in to our double upload episode today. We will definitely, as we always say, try and be as consistent. We're going to come back and likely review some results from the Premier League. We'll go into some more Champions League talk. But there's lots of breakdowns. Getting to the nitty-gritty, interesting parts of the season, knockout games, knockout competition, less games remaining in the league. So, kind of there's less teams that can vie for the title. So it's interesting. So definitely tune in, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with your grandparents, your aunt, your uncle, everybody, your dog, cat, whoever likes to watch it. We don't discriminate. But that's all I got to say. Ruben, you got anything else you want to add?
No, stay tuned. We're going to keep putting out stuff. And next week we'll probably be touching on the Premier League and talking about maybe a little preview of what these Champions League ties are going to be looking like heading into that weekend, because we usually try to record on a Monday. So, the second leg of these ties will be coming up in the days ahead. So stay tuned for that. And enjoy this little double episode treat we're giving you.
It'll be interesting. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a good one.